Funny story. That goes along with that. Yep. So, as anybody knows that lives anywhere around here, Main Street of Joplin fucking sucks right now. They have torn all of a whole Gigondor section of it, like a couple miles of it, a few miles of it, whatever, which is basically the whole fucking road, down to the old road. And now what I mean by the old road is it appears like a road a couple times ago. They scraped it all off and left what was old there from probably the 90s or some shit. And it's effed. And I got a flat tire. Checking for that this needs to be trimmed down. This is gonna have to be trimmed down because it's got to match that, and this right here has to be trimmed down. There's no way I'm gonna get it like perfectly smooth. Oh. I thought it was dying on me again. Like I sanded and sanded and sanded, got all the high spots out of it, got all the imperfections out of it. But getting it glass smooth, I'm just not going to do it. And that's fine, because I actually originally, when I did it green, I was going to do texture, but instead I did it whatever, like glass smooth by hand. Showed you guys how to do that in a DIY video. If I remember, I'll card it up top so it'll drop down. So I don't want to do a hammer finish, I don't want to do a wrinkle finish, I want to do a slight minute texture finish, I guess you could say, almost like something you'd almost see like on a factory plastic front bumper, the unpainted ones. So I did get a Rust-Oleum textured, and then bought my standard 2X just white primer. And we're going to make the attempt on here to see how it looks, to see how good it turns out. It's really hard to see, but it's a nice little light texture, and that's the look I'm going for. But as you can see, I didn't paint the whole thing. I added a little bit of texture to it because they're kind of hard to see. Yeah, I can show you that one. There are some minute imperfections, even still, that are noticeable. So I'm going to let this dry overnight, and tomorrow I'm going to make sure that that imperfection, there's a little bit down to the letters, and then some trailing some of the faces. So I just put a light coat of the white so I can really see them. I'm going to go through, smooth those back out. So that's what it looks like after the hammered paint. I decided, you know, the other texture paint didn't give it enough texture. I went ahead, what you didn't see was after the texture I knocked down the high spots like I said I was going to do, and took care of some of the low spots, and then put that on there. Put a nice coat on, because you got to just really nicely coat it, and then I'm walking away from it, and I'm going to see if everything wrinkles out or hammers out the way it should. Quick update to fill you in what's been going on. So, what you just saw there was the ideal finish that I was looking for. Now, the way I did it was a little weird. I tried texturing it, I didn't like it. The Rust-Oleum texture, didn't like it. I did the hammer, I didn't like it. So I said, screw this, After knocking everything back down, I did a test piece. Now, and I played with different layers and orders of layers and stuff like that to try to disrupt that hammering. Because the hammer finish is like almost perfect, but then it's got these weird reactions on it, like if there was a chemical in there. So, I put that on there just enough to get it to do its little reaction. When that was done, I did it again and again. So, I had a bunch of reactions, so it was a nice fine reaction. But it was still a little too smooth, so I took the Rust-Oleum texture, shot it over the top of it, and then primered it. When I primered it from real far distance, put bunches of light coats, because that'll create a heavy texture too. And it's spot on, it's exactly what I want. So, and I also picked out the color. So it will be going green, but to match the rest of the interior, which is matte finished. The silver in it's not glossy, the dash isn't glossy, none of that's glossy. I don't want it glossy anyway. So, I will be spraying the green that I had on it before, which is like the fluorescent green, because it lasted just perfectly fine enough, but I'm going to spray a matte clear over it this time. Okay, so let's try to record this again. Having issues with corrupted memory cards again. I got a new reader now, new memory card. Shouldn't be having problems, but I am. So you saw the part, and catch everybody up what's been going on and what got corrupted. Not a whole lot got corrupted, but I went down to Tulsa Saturday and met up with Travis from Hammer Custom Cues. Really cool guy. We got to sit there and just bullshit cars because he's a 350Z owner, and that's how I actually found the original channel back in the day. So, I say back in the day, it really wasn't that long ago. I also got to sit down with a cool, like an old buddy of mine from like grade school or whatever. Hadn't seen him in forever. Literally, it seems like forever. We got to sit around and bullshit too. Travis is going to be basically doing a YouTube channel with his 350Z build, and I'm sure we'll do some collab work, and also I'll probably need his help on some of the parts for the reason why there is a vacant spot right here. Marina and I worked really hard the other day because it was like 70 degrees, and today it's like 26. Welcome to fucking Missouri. But got that mostly cleared out. There's some stuff that's a little bit in the way, like the table and the wood and stuff. But I got to get the room to get the wood back where it needs to go, and the workbench thing's right here. Workbench I'm going to push back for now, and we'll have to get the car in. I'm not going to tell you what kind of car I bought. I'm not going to tell you any of that, because we'll go over that in the next video when Marina and I sit down, and it's not going to be Sunday, it'll probably be Monday, or maybe Saturday evening, I don't know. We're going to sit down and go over the basics of where we're starting, what we're doing with it, why we're doing it, and so on and so forth. So that'll be a great, just informational video to kickstart everything, and we're really not going to start on anything until probably the week after, because as you can tell, well, I was filming this at night, but as you can tell, there are no lights on that side of the shop. So Lowe's is doing a sale on the light bulbs that I want right now, the LED ones, the T8 LEDs. So I'll be putting 8 bulbs over there, 4 fixtures, just in that small area, so that obviously we can see and you can see better. I think it's worth it. I mean, you're talking $80 worth of stuff to get that really lined out. Plus, then I will still actually have 8 extra bulbs. So if I need to add more lighting, because the fixtures are roughly $10 a piece, the bulbs, 16 of them are $40 right now at Lowe's. Now, why am I talking numbers? Because with this build, I'm going to talk numbers through the whole thing. Because I want to prove a fact that you can build a badass car yourself for not that much money. It's budgeting, finding good deals, taking your time building it yourself, doing everything yourself. And then in the end, you have all these tools that you bought for the project that come in handy for other parts of the project and other projects and stuff like that. But we'll get into that then. I'm going to stop ranting, because obviously the next videos, that's all it's going to fucking be pretty much. There'll be one other video before that probably where I go over tips about how to find a project car. And that will obviously just be a talking video, but it's stuff I've learned over the years, finding project cars, walking away from them, so on and so forth. But for now, I'm getting off here. I hope you guys enjoyed this little, I don't know, not that long episode, just because there was a lot of rush trying to get everything ready for the car. And I'll talk about the process of me getting the car, what I went through, how long it's taken me, so on and so forth. But for now, have a good, whatever the time of the day it happens to be. Don't forget, I'll actually tell you to subscribe this time, because we're going to have some fun. And a lot of cussing and throwing tools, but it's going to be fun.
Well, folks, it's time to kick it old school. So you can feel cool.